Hey everyone, I am doing a 2022 4Runner. Just going to show you how I like to tackle these back windows, being they roll up and down. So this one here, I dry shrink all these. I already got the cover pulled off the inside. That way I can, bottom load it in a sense, but I'll try to get to that too. So first step, obviously, is clean the window. And I waxed it because I dry shrink. I'll take my scrubby with the water, which is dried off, and squirt that a little bit more. I don't like to have too much on there because it will start to run down into my window. Kind of messes up my shrink doing it that way. So I'll run against the sides, across the top, and toss that back over there. All right, so these are a little different, as everyone knows. I will get the bottom overlapped, the sides overlapped, and the top. That way when I roll the window down, I know that top's going to overlap as well. So I'll start up here, and I'll give that little squeegee and just circle down on the sides. Same thing over here. That way I got everything right here that I'm going to shrink. I use the Sharpie, and I will hit this on where the glass and the rubber meet, and I'll just do about 5-6 inches. But I'll also go over a 1/2 inch, and I'll cut or a marker against the plastic, this plastic piece and the rubber, and that just gives me a depth. That way I know how far that window is actually going back into the seal. But I'll marker both sides and marker the bottom. It's just a roughness. I don't go over the fingers, I just go around them. I just need a rough line, that way I'll know I can tuck it whenever we go to stick it. So we'll make sure this is nice and done. And next, it's a couple step process. These always take a little bit longer the way I do. But we're going to roll this down just a little bit more. Alright, because I want to be able to see where that window breaks on either side over here. So I'm just going to re-squeegee this. That way it keeps everything pulled, so when I stick this on the inside, my top edge is going to line up where I want it by pulling each side down. So let's start right here. We're gonna give this a little cut all the way down as far as we can go. Of course, get rid of that. Tell you what, man, these Olfa blades these days, a brand new blade. Couldn't cut butter with that. So we're going to try this again with another fresh blade. Alright, so we're going to try this. There, look at there. That actually works. We'll cut this around. We'll get this side. Like I said, we just got the blade popped out, just 2 clicks. We're going to go down as far as we can until it gets kind of tight. Alright, so I am going to pull this off, and I'm going to go over here to this other side. Sorry about that. Got a little shaky on you. And so what I'm going to do is my 2 lines I cut, or markered, this one here is for the inside one, is where the glass and the rubber met. The outside is where the rubber met the plastic. So, and what I'm going to do is this little line right here from the edge of my window, I'm going to run it down, and I'm just going to slowly come to about halfway between these 2 lines, all the way down, and then of course my bottom. I'm gonna clean up right there where that bad blade didn't want to work. And then we're gonna go back to our normal process. So this side's solid. Angle it down, nice straight right between those two lines we made. And then we're gonna give us our typical 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch under the seal, the bottom of the seal, and we're gonna round the corners. All right. So, being that that's wet and not dry shrink, we're just gonna do this right here, get all that water out. It's a little bit of a couple step process, but for me it works out pretty good. And we're gonna roll this window back up. These buttons seem not to work for me whenever we operated on the tailgate. If someone knows why the up buttons never work, it just beeps at you. I'd appreciate the knowledge of why it does that. So we're gonna get that dirt off. Yeah, these buttons right here, down works just fine, but when I go to hit the top, you know, with the key in the hand, that it just beeps. I don't know why. So I ain't got time for all that beeping. I just want to get the job done, you know, and do this right here. All right, we got that on there. All right, I'm just gonna do a little dry. Wax dry super fast. That's why I use it. So we're going to take our wet scrubby. We're going to give this another line. Nothing too heavy because we don't want it to fall down into our shrinking area too much. All right, so we have our window and this cut out ready to stick other than the shrinking. So now we'll stick it back up here and we'll leave us a couple inch gap at the bottom and we'll redo this process again at the top. We'll start in the center and we'll stretch it off to the side and go down. Pushes everything to the center. Same thing over here, down the side, stretches it to the center. Now we have everything we're going to shrink right there. Get my glove on. All right, so now we just do your typical dry shrink. You know, these don't take too long to shrink. It's just that taking it off, drying it back off, and then reapplying your dry solution, wax, soap, dryer sheet, whatever you use. You can wet shrink these too. It definitely takes longer. So we'll do that. And some people say they end up having fingers still pop up on the inside. Even after shrinking it multiple times out here, you know, shrinking the top or shrinking the bottom. But I do it this way every single time. I generally do not get fingers on the inside because I do a little snap shrink. I like to over shrink them. That way, keeps everything nice and tight on the inside. I don't have those extra fingers popping up on me. So, we'll do that. And that's a pretty good shrink. That's real tight. But for extra measure, I will do it again. And it already looks better. I'm just kind of keeping this pulled in like that. They've got that sucker shrunk so tight it's falling off the glass. So, trying to hold her. All right. Okay. Fell off on me right there, but no big deal. I was done. All right. So, after I get to that point, step 3000. I got it over there on the window. Now I'm gonna bottom load this. Generally when you're bottom loading, you don't touch the sticky side, you know, your window's upside down. This one's right side up because of the hatch, you know, the way I'm gonna stick it, you'll see. So we're gonna leave that there because that's just wet and film. Everybody knows how to do that. So we're gonna, first things first, we're gonna roll down this window to right to where you start seeing the edge of the window coming down, not too far. So I'd say about 2 inches. We don't go too far. So I am going to do a quick clean on this because I did not do that. Normally I have the window clean, all finished up, but kind of slacking today. So being that this window's already down, I use my back scraper for back glasses. That way I can get up in there. Let me turn this a little bit. Point that up right there. There we go. Sorry guys. So back glass scraper. I do that because I did roll the window down and I need to get up in there. I don't want to move the window around too much because of the walking. So I'll do that right there, get in there. Then I'm gonna shove it in the sides. That way we got the edge of that window done. Then we just go to a hand scrubby. Keep that real clean. Hope everybody's doing real nice today. Here we got a nice 75-degree weather in Arkansas, finally. Dude, I tell you, the snow has been just ridiculous. I don't know if y'all been getting what we've been getting, but I hate it. I hate snow. It's bad for business. All right, we're gonna squeegee that up in there, up in the frame. That way we don't really have any water coming back down on us, because now all this water is gonna be running this way. One of the few times I'll spray the top edge of the window because I don't have to worry about, you know, that dirt coming down into the glass. But I will not spray up inside that frame because we don't want to get any dirt that's inside that frame up in there. So we'll take a towel, we'll shove that thing up in there just to grab any extra. And of course, look at that, we got some dirt. We got to pull that out. And of course, we're gonna go down the side as much as we can, back in there. And then we'll clean that top edge. Now, a lot of guys will do this whole process inside with the latch shut. It's not a bad deal to do. My issue was I would take a bungee cord or a rope or something like that, and I would attach to the frame, and I'd have the film, you know, in my hands, and this would be like halfway shut. I'd squeeze in here, I'd grab it with my foot, pull the thing down until it latches basically, and then I would bottom load it that way. But I'm getting old and fat. It just doesn't work that same. You know, 10 years ago, it'd been a different ballgame. That's how I did it. All right, so back to old fat people method. I like to use an extra soap mixture on these. That way we can slide it a little easier. Make sure we're not getting any customer stuff wet. It's all dog stuff. Tons of dog hair back here. So we're gonna squirt this in the seals pretty good. And just right at the edge. I'm not going to squirt the metal, and I'm not going to squirt up inside because I don't want any of that dirt coming down. So we'll saturate that really nice. And then I'm going to come over here and grab this other film. But give me just 1 second. This is a pretty, everybody knows how to squirt film, like I said. All right, so we're going to spray the extra soapy water on here just to make sure we're sliding. And grab the film. All right, so sticking this, I'm gonna bottom load like I said. I'm gonna stick this corner over here. I'm gonna say about 3/4 of the way, almost all the way over there. And I'm gonna slide this thing in at an angle until I'm gonna keep this over here just flush with the metal. Slide this in until this top edge of the window is now in the clear, just as you would on a regular door window. Now I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna bunch this up, you know, somewhere in the middle side. That way this side over here clears. Now I can slide it down in the window, shift it this way. That way I'm not hitting this seal. Got plenty of room on both sides. There's bunching there, bunching here. We'll just continue to slide until we are past the top edge. And then we'll open her back up. And this is why I like the extra soap mixture, because you have to press on the glass a little bit to slide it back into the seals, because I like everything tucked really nicely. I cut all my windows quite a bit bigger. And we'll line that top edge up to where it looks like it's been shaved, but it hasn't. It is Thursday, so it's a no shave Thursday. So that's always a good day. All right. I'm just gonna wipe some of this water down. All right, so squeegeeing, I will split the difference. Instead of sticking that top edge first like you would on a roll-up window, I'll stick it down the center like that. Kind of tack these edges just right there to make sure it doesn't pop up on us. And then we'll get this top section. Lock that down. We'll do this. I didn't say this is probably the longest video I've ever done. We're sitting at 18 minutes. Sorry guys, I hope you're somewhat entertained in my weirdness. So, all right, little final squeegee on the top section. We'll lock that down real nice. We'll come back with a towel just to finalize that. Now we're gonna roll that window back up. And being that I don't know how to work that button, we're gonna come back up front. And we're gonna kick the key on, roll the window up. All right. And if you guys don't know, the way you're able to roll this window up and down with the hatch open is to latch it just like you do with the open frame window. So just tricks it into thinking that the latch is closed or the hatch is closed. Now we'll just squeegee this film straight up and lock this side, lock the bottom. And we'll come to this side. Give this a little once over. Side to side. Don't stop in the middle. You end up missing some air pockets or water pockets and bubbles. So, there we go. We'll use our towel. Get any water that may run back down into that tent where it doesn't finger up on us. down hard. Just gonna make a run. I have a feeling I got some water that is wanting to run back down into the frame here. Getting a little water seepage right there, but not a big deal. So that is how I do these windows on the 4Runner. So if anyone has a question, if I missed something, definitely hit me up. And as always, I greatly appreciate everyone in this tent community. Appreciate you guys for watching. You have a great week.